Spectacular. Today's learning intention, same as yesterday's. We got to do some more work on this. Scholars will be able to explore how Lowry foreshadows the impact of Nazi racism on our characters. You're going to prove to us that you did this by defining foreshadowing in today's lesson. You can identify multiple examples of foreshadowing in the text, and then you're going to explain how foreshadowing was used in today's reading. All right. I noticed some scholars struggled on this yesterday, and hey, that happens sometimes. Let's revisit it. Okay. So remember, it's when the writer gives an advance hint of what's to come later in the story. And this is going to build anticipation and suspense in us as readers. Remember, it's hints for the future, something about the future later in the story. It has nothing to do with the past. It's not obvious. It's little subtle clues and hints. Okay? And it always builds suspense. It's not calm. It makes me wonder what's going to happen next. So this is an example from yesterday, right? Many of us struggled. Hey, that's fun. Let's review. Okay, so we saw this. Go, shouted Anna Marie, and the two girls were off. Anna Marie's silvery blonde hair flew behind her. Ellen's dark pigtails bounced on her shoulders. Okay, and then again, he kissed the top of each head. Anna Marie's blonde one, Ellen's dark hair. Mr. Reed asked, how does this foreshadow a later event in the story? Okay, the author is foreshadowing that Lizzie had dark hair when she. Wait, that's about the past. So I know that's not it. That's a flashback. The author is foreshadowing the end of the book. No, that's too obvious. Remember, it's subtle. The author is foreshadowing a possible problem that Ellen may have with the Nazi soldiers later in the story. Okay, it's a little hint. It's a little clue for something later in the story. Let's see if you can do it on your own. Okay. I want you to answer A, B, or C. Peter bought the illegal newspapers to them occasionally, carefully folded and hid it among ordinary books and papers, and Mama always burned it after she and Papa had read it. For your Mama and Papa, I bought something more practical, 2 bottles of beer. Notice the repetition about Peter helping Mama and Papa with small things. How does this foreshadow a later event in the story? Advisors, let's give the scholar 60 seconds to select A, B, or C. In 3, 2, 1, here they go. Yes, okay, very good. C. Peter was able to help them with small things, but now he's helping them with something bigger, like taking the Rosens to safety away from the Nazis. Remember, because they're Jewish. And so I couldn't tell that in the beginning, but I had hints because of the author's repetition. All right, let's try one more time to get some more practice. Okay, there had been no real coffee in Copenhagen since the beginning of the Nazi occupation, not even any real tea. There hasn't been any butter or sugar for cupcakes for a long time, a year at least. There was no fuel now for the homes and apartments in Copenhagen. Notice the repetition about rationing, right? That means a little bit of items for people to use. How does this foreshadow later events? A, B, or C? Give them a chance in 3, 2, 1, go. I know it's not A. Very good. I know it's not A because that's a flashback. These moments foreshadow who the good people are in the story. No, because it's not talking about people. It's talking about things. Oh, it foreshadows some of the challenges that the people may experience because of these things. Okay. Mr. Reed is noticing something. Whenever there's repetition from the author, hey, this is deep inside the mind of an ELA scholar. Okay. This is how we become and continue to be lifelong readers. We have to know what the author's doing. Mr. Reed is noticing something. Whenever the author keeps repeating something again and again and again, that's a hint. That's a clue. It could mean it's foreshadowing something. Okay. Great job practicing. Let's continue with the rest of our lesson.